Hey guys, it's me. I know like the last time you probably saw me was the first video that Kelsey posted on her channel. For those of you who don't know, I'm Addie. I'm 16 and I am Kelsey's best friend, and I have been for many years now. The reason I'm making this video is because we decided we would both do videos on our point of views of our friendship. Kelsey did hers not too long ago, and so I figured I would do mine. Kelsey and I have been friends since 5th or 6th grade, actually. But then again, well, actually, no. I started hanging out with Kelsey when we were in the 4th grade. I remember that because I used to walk around with her on the playground, and I mean, even though we didn't really hang out, outside of school or even outside of recess, we were, I still considered her a friend because I'd grown up with her, and when you grow up with someone, you still consider them a friend even if you don't really talk to them that much. But yeah, we first started, kind of talking or whatever in 4th grade, and it kind of carried on, so on and so forth in 5th grade. 5th grade, I stopped hanging out with all the people that I had been friends with, because we had a new student, and she'd come to Portal, and she was new, and new kids, they always, starting a new school has got to be scary. I mean, you don't know anybody, you don't know, what that place is going to be like. So I, being the, I guess, kind-hearted person that I am, I decided to be her friend, and we became really good friends after that, and I kind of, all the people that I had been hanging out with and talking to, I kind of left them behind because I made a new friend, and me and this girl, we were inseparable. We did a lot of things together. I mean, of course, by then Kelsey had other friends, so, and me and her didn't really talk a lot, we didn't continue to talk after that. And so me and this girl, our friendship carried on into 6th grade, and she was my best friend. She knew things about me that, not a lot of people will ever know. Some things that Kelsey doesn't even know, and Kelsey's like my best friend. She knows everything. But this girl knew things about me that not even Kelsey will ever know, because back in 4th and 5th grade, I was stupid, okay? I was one of those people, back then I tried to fit in, like, I would do things and change myself so where I could fit in, where people would like me. I used to wear my hair curly all the time, and I wore it down all the time. And, people kind of made fun of me for that, and people made fun of me being a tomboy, and, not dressing like a girl, all that fun stuff. But, then, in 6th grade, me and Kelsey, we've been in the same classes since, like, pre-K, and, 6th grade, me and this other girl that I, became friends with in 5th grade, she began to steal my other friends away from me, because we were in middle school, I mean, you're in middle school, things change. We were exposed to, I mean, Portal Middle High is, like, insane, but our first year of middle school was completely crazy. I went through a thug kind of phase, where, like, I had become obsessed with Eminem. I still love Eminem to this day. But, me becoming a fan of Eminem, it kind of pushed all my other friends away. But that girl who I thought was my friend, she began to become she stabbed me in the back, pretty much. She became a backstabber. And, I didn't really know what to do because I was 11 or 12 at the time. I was 11 or 12, and, I'd never really had fights with any of my friends that ended up being that big of a deal. But this girl, we got into a fight. During this time, I got into my first, real relationship, I guess you could say. Well, not real, but my first relationship. I had my first boyfriend, in 6th grade, and I was honestly in love with this boy. I didn't really know what love was at this point, but I did like this boy a lot. I really did. He really and truly was one of the first guys I ever really had any interest in whatsoever. But being the fact that I was a tomboy and everything, and guys don't really they don't really. There's just something about tomboys that a lot of other boys my age don't really think about. They're like, oh, well, you're a tomboy, you're a lesbian, you like girls and all that fun stuff because you dress like a guy. But this guy, we dated for about 2 months, and during those 2 months, this girl that I was friends with, she began hanging out with him a lot, and I didn't like that very much, honestly. But I never said anything about it. I kind of, kept my cool. But needless to say, he ended up leaving me for her, and that started a huge fight. And after that, I didn't really have that many friends in 6th grade. I did start talking to Kelsey, and I really did. I was just going through a rough time, it was my first real breakup, well, not real, but it was my first breakup, and so, heartbreak, it just, I didn't want to be around anybody, and, me being, the person that I am, the things that I've been through so far, even, all the things that I'd been through even before, me and Kelsey became friends, before middle school, that really took a toll on me a little bit, and so I didn't want to be around anybody. And then I finally started I started trying to be more social like I was before, and me and Kelsey did start becoming friends, and even after all that mess, because this girl that I was friends with that stole my boyfriend, she, not even gonna lie, she practically well, I would say ruined my life, but that really wouldn't do it any justice. But she did mess up things for me, and I, spreading rumors about me at school, and living in a small town, things get around pretty quick. So that was a problem for me. And Kelsey, she's always been there for me, even through things like that. We did finally start hanging out. 6th grade ended. We started hanging out over the summer a little bit. 7th grade began, and that was a really rough year for both of us. 7th grade it was a crazy year. It really was. Me and her, we did a lot of stupid things, and we became really close that year for reasons that even I've forgotten. We just there are things from that year that even I can't explain. Just we did go through a phase where the that scene emo phase that every kid goes through once in a while. That almost every kid goes through. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them do. And being us, we, sorry, my friend's texting me. We had, well, some things kind of happened, and we made some new friends that year. Me and Kelsey did. And we had this little group, and all of us were. There were 5. There were no, yeah, there were 6 of us. That slowly, our group of friends disappeared. One of them switched schools. The other one ended up moving away, and then the other one which she still lives in Portal, and we're back being friends again. But something really stupid happened, and we all ended up kind of hating each other for it, and it was really stupid. And I regret ever taking part in that. Like, even if I didn't really take part in it, I just really regret what happened and what went down. But in all honesty, 7th grade was a rough year for both of us, me and Kelsey both. More heartbreak for me. That some things happened to me that year that really changed me, and it because I'm not really the most happy person in the world. I haven't been for a while, but the things that happened that year did take a huge amount of strength away from me, and Kelsey was there for me, and 7th grade was the year that I came out as bisexual. I came out that year. I will never forget it. I came out and told everybody that I was bisexual. Kelsey was the first person I told, because I just trusted her more to know that. It's one of those things. And so she supported me with that, because just reasons. Best friends should support you for something like that. I'm trying to think of how I can explain this. I did go through some more rough things that year, and some of them I won't ever forget. Some of them were kind of stupid. I was really stupid that year, and I regret some of the things that I did. I still do to this day, and I wish I could go back and change it, but I can't. 8th grade rolled around, and me and Kelsey had become even closer. 8th grade, she got into her first real relationship with my friend that I've known my entire life. With a mutual friend of ours who I've known my entire life. And I 100% supported their relationship. I was so happy for her to find someone that she felt like, she could be with, who she trusted enough with, her heart and her to keep it, what I'm trying to say. I was happy that she had found someone who always had her best interest in mind. But I myself did, I got back into a relationship too that year. I got into 2 that year. They really, well, then I got into this one, and it wasn't the best ending situation when we broke up, but, we're still kind of friends, I guess. acquaintances. I don't know what you'd call that. Me and this guy are still acquaintances, I guess you could say. He doesn't particularly like me very much, and I don't particularly like him. I don't really care, but I still try to be friendly, as much as possible. And then I got into a relationship again not long after I broke up with this guy. They, actually those guys were best friends, so it was kind of weird. And then of course Kelsey got into her first real relationship not long after I had gotten into that second one that I had that year. Like I said, I was really supportive of her and this guy being together. And she was really, like, they were really supportive of me and, the guy that I was with. I changed a lot that year. But some things had happened to my relationship, and the guy, some things kind of, I didn't know, that he would be that way. He had some mental issues, and I mean, I did too. I've had them since like 4th grade. I'm clinically diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and ADD and all that stuff. So, I mean, me dealing with that, I figured, hey, I'd still try to be strong and try to help this guy out. Well, come to find out, there was no there was no help for him that I could give him anyways. So, that ended very badly, actually. Because he didn't really like me very much to begin with, and then I finally kind of conned him out of, hating me, and then we got together, and then about 5 months later, well, no, actually not 5 months later, but around the fourth or fifth month, he became abusive, and I didn't notice it at first, because, it was one of the first relationships, like long-term relationships that I've had. It lasted about 5.5 months, actually, and this guy had, like I said, become really abusive towards me and towards himself, and he had threatened to kill me if I ever left him. So of course I'm fearing for my life at this point, and I told Kelsey about it, and she's like, well, I don't know what to tell you, because she was, of course she would be more concerned about her own relationship than mine, even though I am her best friend. So we kind of butted heads on that a little bit, me and Kelsey did. And it didn't end up into a real big fight between me and her, but I did, some point during that time, I did get mad at her for, actually, after me and this guy broke up, me and her butted heads because she had taken it seemed like she had taken his side, because, this guy and her boyfriend were best friends, and she kind of agreed more with him on his side of the story. I don't know what happened. He actually broke up with me, which is quite surprising, because he had a huge amount of issues, like mental issues, and it bothered me because I couldn't do anything to help him, and I tried, and there's not much you can do when you try to do things and you don't know what else to do anymore. And I had a couple of, run-ins with severe depression during that relationship, because I was fearing for my life, and the abuse kind of got to me, and I had a bad year. That was a bad year for me. But I did finally, I got over it and everything, and we started high school. Kelsey and, her boyfriend they were still together. And I was happy for them, I supported them, but around around 8 months of them being together, I noticed that he'd become super obsessed with her. Like, it was not even funny, just the amount of, like, time he spent trying to... What had happened was he had practically taken her away from her friends, and he didn't like her hanging out with me or with anybody else. I didn't particularly like that too much because she's my best friend. I had her first. And me and this guy had been friends since as long as I could possibly remember. He lives right down, or he used to, or, well, you know, all that fun stuff. But, I fully supported me and Kelsey, or I fully supported Kelsey and this guy until that point in time. And, it was weird trying to sit there and tell my best friend that, hey, this is unhealthy for you. Just the amount of obsession that he showed towards her, and he became really abusive towards her, and she didn't even notice it, but like the rest of us did. Like the rest of our friends, we noticed it. And it wasn't good for her. You know, with her, me and her are we're very similar in many ways that even I can't explain. But it hurt me to sit there and tell my best friend that, hey, this is not healthy for you, you don't need to be doing this to yourself, that he's obsessed with you, he's been abusive, and you just haven't noticed it. And I didn't know what else to do, so I tried my best to explain it to her without hurting her feelings, and I tried to get everybody else to help me because they all noticed that, hey, this is bad. And finally, he did something that severely hurt her, and it killed me. It killed me inside to know that had happened to my best friend, and I just sat there and let it happen, and I didn't even know anything about it. So I practically threatened to kill this guy. You know, even though he'd been my friend, I threatened to kill him because he hurt my best friend. He took what trust that she had and destroyed it. But she still forgave him after that, and I don't know why. And they continued their relationship, sadly, until she finally listened to me and realized, hey, this is unhealthy. He's obsessed over me, and this isn't good. And so she finally ended it. Around that time, around the time of them having that issue, when he did that thing, I had gotten back into another relationship with a guy who goes to another school in the same county as me, but just on the other side of the county. And me and this guy, we really hit it off. I mean, he was sweet. He was and Kelsey, she absolutely adored our relationship. I mean, I did too, honestly. But I had a bunch of things going on that year that really bothered me. I wasn't myself that year. I was falling behind in everything I did, which wasn't good for me. And so around, we got together in November, and then I finally broke up with him in February of that year. February of 2000. It was 2016. I broke up with him in February of this year, and for reasons that in my opinion, he was too clingy towards me, and I didn't have a problem with the fact that he cared about, you know, my well-being, because yeah, I was going through a lot, and I needed somebody. And, you know, Kelsey, you know, going through all that mess with her boyfriend at the time, I mean, she couldn't really help me, you know, with everything that was going on with her. So I tried to help her as much as I could, and it mentally and physically drained me. and I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the clingy. I tried and I struggled, and I decided I couldn't do it, so I broke up with him. And then when Kelsey and her boyfriend finally broke up, when she finally broke up with him, not long after, she got with my ex-boyfriend. In April of that year, in April of this year, no, in March of this year, I met a guy. I know that sounds stupid. Like a month later, I know. A month later, I met a guy. I didn't even know who he was. But we started talking one day on Facebook, because he added me on Facebook a little while back, and I didn't know he was living in Portal. I mean, I used to see him like walking through town all the time. I just didn't know that he actually he was actually like around my age. I was 15 at the time. This guy had just turned 18 in March. Tyler was his name. We became friends, and I found out a lot of things about him, why he was there, and everything. And his situation wasn't really one of the best, and I felt sorry for him, for his situation. But around April, I started to I started to fall in love, and I know it sounds cliche, and it really does. In May, I finally talked him into going out with me. It wasn't the best of circumstances, but I talked him into it somehow. So me and him started dating. And Kelsey she had just broken up with my ex. She had just broken up with him. And I told her about this guy. I was like, hey, there's something about him that I can't explain it, and I don't know what it is, but I felt so much better, being with him. Even just being his friend. Not to mention back like January of that year, I'd been put on medication for my depression and anxiety, and so I was starting to get better a little bit. I've been on 3 so far since January. But anyways, the first 2 weeks that me and Tyler were together, we didn't really do anything like special. We weren't even really dating. We just talked a little bit. Then in the middle of June, we finally started, doing things that a normal couple would do. Like, we actually got to hang out, and, I learned more about him, and he learned more about me every day. And, I'm not even gonna lie when I say that I was in love. I really was. I really and truly was in love. It's kind of, I'm not even really supposed to be talking about this, but it does involve Kelsey in a way. And so, like I said, we finally started really dating in the middle of June, but, we got together the 11th of May. And, things were great. He was finally, he made me so happy. It's ridiculous just how happy he made me. I felt so good about myself that I quit taking my medicine for my depression and everything. And I know it was bad of me to do. I was put on it for a reason, to try and help myself, become better. But I was so happy that, I thought, hey, maybe I don't need it anymore. Because he gave me a reason to not need it. Even though, I was still struggling a little bit. And it was around August when I found out, hey, this might not last forever like I thought it would, but I'm gonna, I still tried to make everything work. I struggled, I tried. Oh my god, I've been talking for like 30 minutes now, but, this is just the story. Anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. It was around August that I figured out, hey, this might not be the best of things, but I'm still gonna try and make this work, because for God's sake, I was in love, and I didn't want it to end, and I tried, I struggled, I cried myself to sleep, my depression came back, I was having panic attacks more and more every day. I stopped eating. For a little while, I actually did stop eating. And then in September, my younger cousin was killed in an accident. And it's actually, today has been exactly 1 month since he died. And I was so thankful that Tyler was there with me the day that I heard the news that he died. Tyler was there with me on the day that he died. And he came with me to the funeral, he came with me to the viewing and all that. And he really helped me out through that. But, needless to say, about a week later, he broke up with me because he said, hey, I'm just tired of you faking your depression for attention. And it made me mad a little bit, because I sat there and thought to myself, I was like, you've known me for a long time now, and you know that I've had depression. I've had it since 4th grade, for God's sake. It's not the best of circumstances that I had it, but I had it. I still have it, and I struggle with it, and it's not... I'm slowly getting better. I'm slowly trying to figure out ways that I can handle it and deal with it. But the fact that he would sit there and say that to me after all the, after everything that I did to help him, get his life straight, him being 18 and everything, I figured, hey, he needs to kind of get his life in order, so I helped him do that, or at least I think I did. I'm pretty sure I helped him anyways. I would hope I did. I never wanted anything to go wrong between us. Never. I mean, even if we broke up, I still wanted to be friends. But the night that he broke up with me, I texted Kelsey and I told her, and I was like, dude, what do I do? Because, really and true, I'm still not over it completely. I still don't fully understand how he could go from I love you to I hate you in 8 hours. That literally, that's what it took, was 8 hours for him to sit there and say, hey, I don't love you anymore. I'm still trying to understand it. I'm still kind of struggling to, get it through my head that, hey, you're not with him anymore. Because I'm not even gonna lie, I spent almost every day of my life, I spent every day of the last four months focused on, hey, I'm gonna be with him for the rest of my life. And I was really hoping for that, because, Kelsey fully supported it. She approved of him. She thought that, hey, he's actually doing her really good. He's actually giving her something to live for in her life. And I felt like that. And that night, I texted her while it was going on. I'm like, dude, what do I do? I was crying. I couldn't see the screen. I was crying and I couldn't see the screen to type. And she told me, she's like, dude, don't worry about it. It'll be okay. she said, it'll smooth itself over sooner or later. And I stopped for a minute and I listened to her and I said, you know what, she might be right. And for a moment there I kind of believed her, so I said, hey, I'm just gonna let this be, leave it at that, we're done, okay, it didn't work out, he's gone. But that it didn't work out that way, and now things are really bad. He practically hates me, and I could really care less. At this, I'm over him. I'm not over the fact that, he went from I love you to I hate you, and I'm still not over that. I can't get that through my head. I can't understand how you can do that to a person. In all my 16 years on this planet, I don't think I'll ever understand how you can do that to someone. Even for the rest of my life, I don't think I'll ever understand why. But I stopped and I listened to Kelsey and I said, maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it's just he's it's just maybe it's just the fact that he's angry right now because of what was going on. I don't know. And Kelsey was there for me when I needed her during that. Still currently there for me, but I started to feel like, not long after me and him broke up, I started to feel like she was taking his side. Because he was going around and he was starting rumors and he was talking and telling all my friends that I never really liked them in the first place. And they all turned against me for that. And I don't really have very many friends as it is. I have maybe 10 or 15 good friends that I actually truly talk to and hang out with. But I started to feel like she was taking his side, and I confronted her about it, because it really hurt my feelings sitting there knowing that, hey, my best friend might not even really be my best friend, because obviously something's wrong here and I don't know what I did, but everybody hates me. And I was wrong to confront Kelsey about that. I was wrong to sit there and assume that, she's taking his side. And I thought for a moment, I was like, she's been my friend for years. Why would she do something like that to me? Why would she put me in that position to sit there and question all the years of our friendship? And so I apologized, even though for a little while there I didn't talk to her at school. I didn't talk to her anywhere, honestly. I kind of pretended that she didn't exist, and I was stupid for doing that. She's my best friend, and now here I am, two or three weeks later after the breakup. My birthday was a couple days after the breakup and everything. Here I am. I'm slowly getting better. I have a lot of things going for me right now, which is pretty good. I feel great, but I would not be where I am today if I didn't have Kelsey in my life. Yes, she aggravates the living heck out of me sometimes. Yes, she makes me want to grab her around the throat and choke her sometimes, but I don't know where I'd be without her. You sometimes in your life you have those friends where you don't really know how you became friends, you don't really understand your friendship, but you're friends. And even the inside jokes, the things you've been through, the good and the bad times, the laughing fits, the crying fits at 3 a.m, those late night phone calls, Skype calls, everything. You kind of, you develop a bond with someone, and sometimes, they can be good, sometimes they can be bad. You have fights, You have arguments. You hate each other sometimes, but you love each other because you know you're always going to be there for each other no matter what. I mean, I know I've done some really stupid things in my life, and I know I've done some really stupid things while I had Kelsey around, you know. I've asked her to do some pretty stupid things. I've asked her to cover for me in a whole bunch of bad situations, and she shouldn't have done it, but she did anyways because she's my friend. And that's what friends do. And honestly, I'm so thankful to call her my best friend. I really am. She goes above and beyond for me, and I'm so thankful for that. And I know we do stupid things. We have stupid arguments. We have stupid fights. Our entire friendship is just completely stupid. I'm just gonna be frank here, okay? But I don't know. I really could not imagine life without Kelsey in it. I could not imagine my life and where I probably would not even be alive if it wasn't for her. I'm not even gonna lie. I've struggled with self-harm. I've struggled with suicidal thoughts, suicide attempts. I've struggled with that. But the one person that stopped me was Kelsey. She was always there for me when I needed her, even if it was, 3 a.m. and I couldn't speak. She was there for me. She taught me through things, and she's been there for me, and I'm so freaking thankful for her. I'm so glad I have a friend like her in my life. Even though I do tell her sometimes that I hate her guts and I wish that she would die. I don't really mean it, but of course I couldn't mean it. I mean, she's my friend, and I don't know where I'd be without her. And I know I keep saying the same thing over and over, and I'm sorry, but, this is one of those things that I kind of had to drag out. Kelsey is, and always will be my best friend, no matter what I do in my life from this point on, no matter where I go, no matter what I do in life. She's always going to be my friend, and I'm always going to remember the good times I had with her, even the bad ones. And I'm always going to sit here and I'm going to say, hey, even in the bad times, that girl had my back. Even in, times where I felt like giving up, that girl had my back. She's more than my best friend. She is my sister. And I'm thankful for that. And this is like an almost an hour long video. I mean, I've dragged this thing out more than I should have, but hey, I'm being honest, and I'm giving you guys the truth, the real and honest truth, my point of view of mine and Kelsey's friendship. I really don't even know what else to say, other than I really hope I get to keep her stupid self around much, much longer, because I can't imagine, because we graduate in 2 years, we literally have 2 years of school left, and then we're out of there, and I'm gonna be right there with her. I can't wait till we graduate. I can't wait till both of us have kids, because I know we're gonna want to be each other's godparents to our kids. We've always made jokes about that. That's always been our thing. And I know when she sees this video, she's probably gonna want to hit me with a closet rod, which is another one of our inside jokes. But she knows that I love her, and she knows that I will always be here for her, and I will always try to correct myself, even though I do the dumbest things in the world, because I'm not a perfect person, but I know that she has my back no matter what. And even if I come up with an idea and it's really stupid, and she tells me she doesn't want to be a part of it, she's gonna secretly want to do something to help me. Even if it does mess up both of our lives a little bit, she's still gonna want to join in, because that's what we do, and that's the way it's always been. So I hope you enjoyed my hour-long talk about my friendship with Kelsey. I don't really know how to end this video, so until next time, guys. Bye.